Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to EMC News on Lone Star Community Radio. We are recording live from downtown Conroe, and we do this every Monday at noon till 1. I'm your host, Margie Taylor, and we're hoping that we can provide you with more information of things that are going on in East Montgomery County, Porter, New Caney, Splendora, and areas surrounding the area, Grangerland, Kingwood. Through local nonprofits, the Greater East Montgomery County Chamber, the law enforcement that serve East Montgomery County, the fire departments, local business, and much, much more. So listen every Monday at noon on Lone Star Community Radio, and we are going FM soon. Yay! So today we welcome several people, 5 as a matter of fact, from the Sam B. Crawford Lodge, 1418, to tell us about Freemasons, the Grand Lodge of the Republic of Texas, the history of Masons, Freemasons Riding Club, the York Rite, Shriners, Family Services, and the Eastern Star, and what they do to serve the community. So before we talk to our many guests we have today in the studio, let's talk about a little bit about some things that are going on in East Montgomery County. First of all, it is Red Ribbon Week in the schools. So what that is used for is to inform all the students to not get on drugs and be smarter. So they have different themed things. So in Splendora, what they're doing today, Monday, is Stay True to Your Pride. You can wear red, white, and blue. Tuesday is Jersey Day. Wear your favorite team jersey. Maybe that's the Splendora team. Who knows? Wednesday is Nerd Day. So that could be really interesting to dress like a nerd. Thursday is Crazy Socks and Hair, and Friday is Neon Day because you're too bright for drugs. Okay, so hometown heroes are invited to be recognized at the football game in Splendora Friday night by meeting at the concession stand at 6:20. And that is firefighters, paramedics, law enforcement officers, and anybody else that falls into that group. If you volunteer for any of those emergency responders, please know that you are also welcome. And again, that's this Friday night just before the game at 6:20 at the Splendora Field. Splendora lost to Porter Friday night with a score of 3-24, and their next game is Friday, like we just mentioned. And New Caney plays Dayton at an away game beginning at 7 p.m. Porter will play the Humble Wildcats Saturday night at Turner Stadium in Humble. Battle Line on 59 is coming out. That will be Friday, October 28th, with a few surprises this year. The powerful game against Porter and New Caney will be played with a sneak preview early that morning between 5 and 5:30 on KHOU Channel 11. Just like they did a little preview of the Sawmill Festival, they are coming out again that morning with the bands, and it's going to be fun time. So that will be early morning on October 28th, and they are strategizing a few wonderful surprises, and tickets are on sale starting today for Battle Line on 59. The Piney Woods Fall Festival is Monday, October 24th, that's next Monday, from 6 to 7:30 in the school parking lot. They will have games, booths, vendors, food, and things like that. And this helps the kids have a fun project, a fun, safe project, and it also is a fundraiser for Piney Woods Elementary. The Fall Extravaganza is coming October 27th from 5 to 8, and this is hosted by MSED at the MSED Complex by the library. Kids can wear costumes. There's going to be a costume contest, rides, petting zoo, camel rides, and candy, all free at the library there. Well, at the complex by the library. Also, a fall Halloween event is scheduled for Monday, October 31st in Splendora at the City Park behind the post office from 6 to 8 p.m. There will be booths, games, and fun. So, upcoming events coming up this week. Wednesday, October 19th, will be Breakfast Connections, hosted by the Greater East Montgomery County Chamber, and it will be at Kingwood Medical Center from 8 a.m. till 9, and that is free. And even if you are not a member of the Greater East Montgomery County Chamber, you are welcome to attend and meet new people. It's all about connections and relationships. Same day, Wednesday, October 19th at 12 noon, there's a Lunch and Learn hosted by Mission Northeast, and they are located at 22098 Loop 494 New Caney. They are going to be talking about labor overtime laws going into effect in December. So if you are a small business, large business, nonprofit, you might want to come to this free Lunch and Learn to find out what are the overtime laws and how it affects you. Thursday, October 20th is Thirsty Thursday at 4:30 p.m., hosted by the Greater East Montgomery County Chamber at Longhorn Steakhouse. The drinks will be at a discounted rate, and the hors d'oeuvres are free, so come and network. Walk a Mile in Her Shoes Against Domestic Violence will be also noon Thursday, and they are meeting at the First Baptist Church in downtown Conroe on Main, and that is a county-wide event, and there will be no charge. It's against domestic violence. So if you want to get involved in that, they have a time of noon to 5, but I'm thinking they start at noon and they just walk around the downtown area in an organized fashion. Saturday, October 22nd which is this next Saturday, medication take back from 10 to 2 p.m. at the East Montgomery County Courthouse on Highway 59. No question asked. Prescriptions, old drugs, even if you happen to have a few illegal drugs, you can bring them out there and they will take care of it for you. No question asked. Again, that is this Saturday from 10 to 2 p.m. And then the big thing that we want to talk about is Sunday, October 23rd from 2 to 6, the Masonic Lodge Open House. And this is the first time they have done this, and it is open to the public. And we're going to learn more about that, Freemasonry, and they are hosting a free dinner, and this is open to all men of any race, religion. So again, we're going to find out a little bit more about that. I think that this is also for all the lodges. And they're nodding yes. So yes, it's open to, it is not just in New Caney, but all the different lodges will be hosting an open house on this Sunday from 2 to 6. So you can go and find out what exactly happens there. And you don't have to be invited. This is an open house. Friday, October 28th is Movies for a Mission at 6:30 p.m. $10 cover to benefit Mission Northeast at Hometown Suites. Complimentary food and drink. And lastly, Heaven's Army will host a License to Carry training class November 5th, with proceeds going to Heaven's Army Home of Amazing Grace Women's Discipleship House. The transitional home houses women escaping from sex trafficking, domestic violence, drug addiction, and hopelessness. The cost is $65, and it is from 8:30 to 3:30 at Heaven's Army, located at 19325 FM 1485 West in New Caney. EMC News is an hour-long show, Mondays from noon to 1, and we will come right back in just a few minutes, and I will introduce to you some of the people from the Mason Lodge in New Caney. This is Margie Taylor, EMC News.
EMC News, your local news from EMC every Monday at noon on Lone Star Community Radio.
When medical emergencies happen, trust your best neighbors ever for extraordinary emergency care from board-certified physicians. Neighbors Emergency Center is making lives better by providing exceptional medical care for you and your family, 24/7, 365 days a year, with little to no wait time. With Montgomery County locations in Porter and Kingwood, Neighbors Emergency Center is there for you. For more information on Neighbors Emergency Centers, please visit them online at nec24.com.
Want to know what's happening in East County? You're listening to EMC News on Lone Star Community Radio.
Hello, this is Margie Taylor, and we are back on EMC News, recording live from downtown Conroe. And of course, we will have a podcast of this show available by late Wednesday. And you could go to our Facebook page at EMC News to find out all the things that are happening and find out how to be sponsors and guests on the show. So I have numerous guests today on the show, all representing a different division. Isn't the right word? What is the right word?
Appendant body.
Appendant body. Okay. Appendant body of Freemasonry, and particularly the lodge in New Caney, the Sam B. Crawford Lodge, 1418. And hats off to the coordinator of all this, which is Treasurer Jerry Iserhardt. So, my guest, first off this morning, of the 5 I have here sitting at the table, is Lance Runnels. He is going to tell us a little bit about the history. He is the District Deputy Grand Master of the Grand Lodge. Is that right? And also I have David Duke, who's the Junior Past Master and Present Secretary of the Lodge. And Carrie Miller, who's the Worthy Master of the New Caney chapter of Eastern Star at Lodge 1418. How did I do? Is that pretty close? Okay.
I am the worthy matron.
Worthy
yes,
matron.
You did wonderful.
Worthy matron. Okay. All right. So, first, what is Masonry and how did it get started?
Well, Margie, first of all, thank you for allowing us to come out today and discuss Masonry and what we have going on in the area. And I'm asked quite often what is Masonry when people find out that I am a Mason. And basically, Masonry is a fraternity. It's a membership of men that's designed to basically, our goal or mission statement's almost to take good men and make them better. We're not a reformed society. We're not looking to take criminals and make them better. That's not our goal.
It's a fraternity.
It is a fraternity, yes.
Okay. And as such, it's like a group of people that get together, regular time, place, and
That's right.
conduct an orderly business
That's
of
right.
some sort, correct?
We are a fraternity, but we are not like your college fraternities. There's no hazing. There's nothing like that.
There's no wild parties?
No. Well, no.
No throwing people out the windows or
throwing
anything
people
like
out
that?
The windows, no.
Okay, no hazing?
No hazing.
Okay.
No hazing.
All right.
But it is actually considered to be a fraternity. We originated in lodges of what's called operative masonry, or folks that were stone masons back in the many years ago. Today we're what you would call speculative masonry. So we're not the guys that are doing the stone work on your houses and your buildings and your church. We're speculative masonry, and basically we say that we tend to do our work in the lives of men. The teaching is based on carpentry, architecture, imagery, and symbolism to help build men's character.
Tell me a little bit more about that.
Well, much of what we do in the lodge is based on symbolism. Always within our lodge is an open Bible, and what we do is based on lots of teachings out of the Bible. We use images. We use some of the things that went on, such as the building of King Solomon's temple, as what we use to try to build ourselves as better people. So, it's been around many years. Probably the first document we have is from the late 1300s for Masonry. From there, around the middle of the early 1700s, I believe it was 1717, we have lodges of what we call operative masonry that had started to bring in so many men of speculative masonry that lodges of just speculative masons. So none of the guys that...
What does that mean exactly, speculative
means that we're
masons?
working, we use just the symbolism and the images that were not operative, that we're not building with stones, so to speak. We build with symbolic stones. And at this point, you started to see whole lodges being created of just speculative. So there were no people in there that were actually going out and cutting
So there's
stones.
no brick and mortar.
No, well, right.
Exactly.
Right. The men that were masons were not going out and building walls during that time. They were
gathering men.
They were gathering men, everyone from local business owners to people that were just, working in the fields,
so
to everyone.
It's basically creating a foundation of men working together to learn. And tell me if I'm wrong. I'm just hearing what you're saying.
That's right.
Of building a foundation of men that then will build more and ask more people to be part of this fraternal organization to better their lives and keep the teachings of Masonry. Basically,
as we grow and as we do what we do in the community, we do have many men that will come and petition our lodges and join, and that's how we grow.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so that's the basic history. Now tell me about Texas.
Okay. Well, Texas Masonry was started back at around the end of beginning of 1800s, 1837 or so, and we had to start a lodge in Texas. We had to get our charter from Louisiana, so we had to have them come over and create a lodge. At that point, on December 20th in 1837, President Sam Houston started a convention that he held in Texas, and he basically, at that convention, they elected Anson Jones, our first Grand Master of Masons in Texas, and that's pretty much where it started. By 1846, Masons were serving in basically every governmental post in the Republic of Texas. As a matter of fact, all the presidents of the Republic of Texas were Masons.
Yeah, you have a list of several noteworthy people here. You have Stephen F. Austin, Sam Houston, William B. Travis, James Bowie, David Crockett. I mean, you have a lot of people that are known in the development and history of Texas were Masons.
That's right. Many of the men that fought at the Alamo before Texas was even a country were Masons. Yep, absolutely. So all the way up to more recent people, many of our presidents and relatively recent presidents have been Masons.
It's interesting. So, how many Masons are there in Texas? There's a lot.
Yeah.
How many? Wait. How many lodges are there in Texas?
There are roughly 814. I think there's 814 lodges in Texas, and roughly 72,000 Masons.
So, most communities have one within driving distance. Like
Absolutely.
I know that there's one off 242, and there's yours in New Caney, and I'm sure there's others in Montgomery County.
We're sitting about a block away from one right here.
Oh, where's that one?
Right on the other corner of the block, right where
okay.
right
in
where
downtown Conroe.
In downtown Conroe.
Okay,
yes,
all right. That's where we're at right now, downtown Conroe.
It's at 311 Simonton,
okay.
downtown Conroe.
Okay,
yes.
yeah, that's right down the road here. So that's really interesting. So what is the difference between Masonry and Freemasonry? Or is
Nothing.
there? Nothing. It's the same word?
Yes. Well, yeah.
Okay.
It's used.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, Masonry can be, if they're stonemasons, means that they're working with stones. But we're considered Freemasons, and Masonry.
What does that mean?
Masonry is speculative. It's speculative. These guys are not working in stonework. So.
Okay. So, also, and this may be out of context, but I'm just going to ask it. So, on the dollar bill, isn't it the dollar bill that there's the Mason image, or what is that?
Well, there's.
Why are you laughing? Laughing at me?
No, it's just that we.
Is it complicated?
We hear that all the time.
Well, I mean,
and
I'm just going to ask.
There's a lot of conspiracy theory out there, and
well, I didn't say that was a conspiracy.
Well,
I'm just wondering what it is.
But there is, and there's certain things people have come up with that say it's all based back to Masonry, but
hey, feel free to jump in, David.
I don't know that it does. Yeah, it's.
There's all, like I say, you read the Dan Brown books and all that. Of course, we the Masons ruled the world forever, but that's not the case. There is some instances where some of our symbolism in our deals may have been used, but we didn't. The Masons didn't do it. It just got incorporated like the all-seeing eye. It's not a Masonic symbol.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
That is.
But they use some of the Masonic symbols in that.
Or we use that.
Okay.
Okay.
I understand.
Symbolism can be interpreted in many different ways, and even in Masonry, I may interpret different than Right Worshipful, something different than he does. That's not to say I'm right or he's wrong, and he's wrong. It's just symbolism is how you bring it into your heart and
Sure.
help yourself to make a better man.
Sure. So I guess I was thinking of like the Da Vinci Code, right? Isn't that the one that brought it all out to everybody? And it's a story, it's a fiction.
It was actually a boom for Masonry. We've seen a boost in our membership.
Okay, there you go, a surge.
But remember that a lot of our founding fathers were Masons, and the symbolism that you see, they dealt with on a daily basis in their Masonry, and when they had their meetings and things that they saw, so it was naturally just incorporated into what you see today on the dollar bill. Benjamin Franklin was a Mason. There's a lot of people that were involved, so that was what they were used to when they had to use symbols. This is just part of what they used because it meant something to them. So,
well, I understand. It's kind of like you were saying that you always have a Bible present, and people, of course, there's different sects, there's different religions,
that's right.
And people can interpret things
Different.
how they want or whatever. It doesn't mean they're necessarily wrong, but I mean, it's the way it rolls.
in Masonry, we require a man to have a belief in a supreme being. We don't interfere in your religion. We're not a religion. You can interpret the Bible any way you want to interpret it, but we do require that you believe.
So they need to be faith-based people.
Faith-based people.
Okay,
That's
but that could be Christian or anything else. Is that
That's
correct?
right. That's
okay.
right. Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, we have a few minutes more. We can talk. David, did you want to tell us a little bit about the lodge in particular?
Sure. I'll talk about our brief history of Sam B. Crawford, which really this is our 50th year, and in Masonry we're a relatively young lodge. In our lodge, a group of men in our area back in the mid '60s got together and determined that they didn't want to have to drive to Humble or Cleveland or whatever to attend lodge, so they began working together and planning on trying to get a lodge formed in the New Caney area. So in December, they elected their first officers. September of '66, they elected their first officers. Brother Jack McCreary was elected as the first worshipful master. And they began working what we call under dispensation from the Grand Master of the Grand Lodge of Texas in November of '66, I believe it was. And they met at Humble Lodge because obviously we didn't have another, and Humble graciously allowed our lodge to meet free of charge. Our members made contributions to their lodge for that opportunity, and we're extremely grateful to this day for them. But Sam B. Crawford received its charter on December the 7th, 1967, and that's when we first officially became a lodge chartered into the Grand Lodge of Texas. We still met at Humble Lodge because it took a while and to get it built. Back then, Masons couldn't raise money on their own, so we were extremely indebted to the Order of the Eastern Star, whose members could.
Who we're going to hear about shortly.
Who we're going to hear about shortly. Working through the Order of the Eastern Star, they had their fundraisers, and of course the Masons participated in them. But Masons back then couldn't hold a fundraiser.
Can you now?
We can now.
I mean, didn't you just have one?
Yeah.
Saturday. Saturday-ish.
That was the
breakfast.
That was for the Shriners. That was for the Shriners, which is an appendant body.
Okay,
But yeah,
we
can now.
Of that. Okay.
And anyway, we held our first lodge meeting at Sam B. Crawford, our current building, on May the 11th, 1970. Our worshipful master then was William Hudson. And so we've been meeting ever since. We meet the first and third Tuesdays of every month, and for our regular business meetings. But this weekend with our open house is an opportunity for all people, men, women, kids. They're all welcome to join us and ask some questions. There's nothing secret about it other than our initiations, other than our degree work. There's absolutely nothing secret about the fraternity. We're extremely open.
Well, we're going to talk some more about that, David, in a few minutes when we come back from a little break. I want to know more about the open house and more about all the different appendants. Appendant bodies. So, again, I'm Margie Taylor with EMC News, and we're recording live on Lone Star Community Radio from downtown Conroe. And this segment of EMC News is sponsored by Neighbors Emergency Clinic. So when you have an emergency, you know who to trust, your best neighbors, for 24/7 care, 354 days a year with no wait. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned to the EMC News Hour with your host, Margie Taylor.
Animals of all shapes and sizes are welcomed at Big Thicket Vet in New Caney with vet services like extensive health exams, vaccinations, heartworm, tick, flea prevention, along with experienced and trustworthy emergency and urgent care. For more information on Big Thicket Vet in New Caney, visit bigthicketvetnc.com or locally at 18403 FM 1485 in New Caney, Texas.
Stay tuned to the EMC News Hour with your host, Margie Taylor.
Hello, I'm Margie Taylor, and we're back on EMC News with several members of the Sam B. Crawford Lodge 1418 in New Caney. And in specific, they're inviting people to come out to their open house, which is this Sunday from 2 to 6, and everyone is invited, not just men, but women, children, all of that, to find out what exactly they do, how you can get involved, and tour the facility in New Caney as well. So we were just speaking with David about the lodge itself and the history about it. So I'm going to let him continue, and then we're going to talk to about the other appendant bodies of the lodge. So David, where did we cut you off at?
Well, I just want to expound a little bit, if I may, about our open house. First off, I want to make sure everybody understands that this is a statewide open house. All Masonic bodies working under the Grand Lodge of Texas. This Saturday, it's actually, the official time is from 2 to 4. Obviously, we're not going to kick anybody out, and we'll have hamburgers for as long as we can at Sam B. Other lodges, I don't know what they're having. They might be having fish or chili or whatever.
What are y'all serving?
We're having hot dogs and hamburgers.
Okay, excellent.
But anyway, once again, that's at all lodges throughout the state. I think there's four local lodges here in Conroe. You've got Montgomery, Conroe Lodge, Oakwood, and anyway, that the open house is open to everybody. If anybody curious about Masonry, come join us. We'd be happy to have you, answer any questions you might have about it. And like I say, we're going to have hot dogs and hamburgers throughout the day. So join us, and if you have a question, ask. We'll answer.
Well, let me ask you, and this can go to Stephen or Carrie as well. Let me introduce them first. Stephen is the president of the New Caney Shrine Club and past master of the Sam B. Crawford Lodge. And again, Carrie is the worthy matron of the New Caney chapter of the Eastern Star. Did I do good?
Yes.
Okay, so big titles, and they are important people. But my question is, so to be a part of these other bodies of Masonry, do you need to first be a Mason? Or how does that work?
First off, yes, and as a general, other than the OES, Order of the Eastern Star, to be a member of the Shriners, or to be a Shriner or a member of the Scottish Rite or York Rite, you do have to be a Mason. To become a member of the Order of the Eastern Star, you have to have a Masonic affiliation. All men who are Masons can join the Star. And then the ladies, I'm not sure, Carrie can answer this better than I can, as far as the degree of affiliation, or aunts and uncles or whatever of a Mason.
Well, Carrie, tell me a little bit what the Eastern Star is.
Basically, the Eastern Star was just, it was established in 1850 by Dr. Rob Morris. He felt that the women should have a way to help out with Freemasons, and since the laws were already in place that women were not able to join, he then since formed the Eastern Star. It is ultimately our motto, what have you, is to help the widows and orphans of Freemasons. However, as Brother David said earlier, we do try to do a lot of scholarship type things within the community, just helping the community in general. And most Eastern Star chapters will host donation, that type of thing, to really try to help out with just helping the community.
Okay, very good. So, what else can you tell me about the Eastern Star? If women come in and want to find out about this in the open house, what would you tell them?
Well, to expand on what Brother David had said, for your eligibility, the Masonic affiliations is just basically the wives, daughters, adopted daughters, mothers, widows, sister, half-sisters, granddaughters, stepmothers, stepdaughters, stepsisters, grandnieces, mother-in-laws, first and second cousins. If you have an affiliation with a Mason, you are able to join. You will submit a petition to the chapter that you are interested in. They will submit it to the Grand Chapter of Texas. They will double-check your affiliation to make sure that that Mason was in good standing. And the other way that you can gain access is what we have called another appendant body. It is the Rainbow Girls. And if you are a member of Rainbow Girls, which is for young ladies, they, if they do have, I guess, good standing, then they are eligible to obtain membership with Eastern Star as well.
So it sounds like it's not that difficult because everybody kind of knows somebody that's involved in Masonry, and you probably have somebody in your family,
whether
it's your immediate family or extended family, that would make you eligible to at least apply to get involved.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, very good. And then, Stephen, as president of the New Caney Shrine Club, what is the Shrine Club?
Well, the Shrine Club is it's a club of Arabia Shrine, which is in Houston, and I think there's 18. There might be more by now. Shrine clubs in the Houston area, but all the shrines have clubs or units. But ours was formed in 2008, I believe. 2010.
So it's pretty recent.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. And what is the mission of the Shriners?
Well, the Shriners. Right now, we have 22 hospitals in the United States and Canada, and we are all Masons, and we're kind of where we have fun. We have fun with a purpose. We raise money primarily for the Shriners Hospitals for Children.
So this one is in Galveston, right? Is this the burn clinic over there?
We have two locally. One in Galveston, that's the burn center, and then we have one in Houston, that's the orthopedic center. But there's 22 of them throughout the United States and Canada.
Okay. So I know that you also do different fundraisers. So you have a pancake one. Did we already have that this year? Was it in the fall?
This past weekend, this past Saturday, we had rescheduled our ride, a motorcycle ride, from, I think it was supposed to be at the beginning of June, but we had a lot of flooding and everything going on, so we rescheduled it. And by the time we chose the date, it was 2 weeks out, so we didn't do as well as we wanted to.
We did talk about it on the show, though, last week.
But we had, I think, 17 people in the ride, and we raised over $600.
Wow.
So, that's not bad for 2 weeks' notice. But we all had fun, and that's the main thing. We have fun with a purpose, raising money.
So how is the Shriners different from the motorcycle club?
Well, I also belong to the Freemasons Riding Club. It's also another appendant body where you have to be a Mason to join, but we ride where we don't raise money for our organization at all, but we assist other fundraisers. So if we hear about a ride, which is very common inside and outside of Masonry, we hear about a ride, we'll show up in numbers, and we'll pay the money for the entry fee, and we'll ride. We'll just have fun.
Now, is that open to women too, or is that just men?
We have a women's auxiliary.
Okay.
If your husband is a Freemasons on the Freemasons Writing Club, then you can join the women's auxiliary. I know there's some rules, but I'm not an expert in that.
Okay. So, anything else we're missing on the Shriners or the Eastern Star that you want to add?
Not really.
I got a little bit of history.
You can tell me. Go ahead.
All right. The Shriners were started prior to 1889. By 1898, we had 50,000 members. In 1899 through 1919, the Shriners participated in a lot of philanthropy type. I can't say that word right sometimes, but
philanthropic things.
Philanthropy. We started out with yellow fever epidemic, raising money and helping out in that in Florida. The San Francisco earthquake, raised some money for that. European veterans, victims. And then in 1919, they had the idea from the Scottish Rite, which is also another appendant body. They had a hospital for children. That inspired the Shriners to propose in 1920 the first Shriners Hospital for Children. It passed in 1921, and the first one was built in 1922, which led to now presently we have the 22 hospitals. And the Arabia Shrine is one of the shrines for it, and it just celebrated its 100th anniversary.
And I wanted to ask you, so I see a lot of times they're involved in circuses and parades and all that, and they do motorcycles, and they wear what do you call those?
The fez.
The fez, yes.
The fez is kind of the trademark. I mean, you see somebody wearing a fez, you automatically think about a Shriner.
Do you wear that when you're on your motorcycle?
No, I'll take a picture
I'm
sitting
just
on
wondering.
my motorcycle with it, but I wear a helmet.
Okay. All right. So tell me about their involvement in those kind of things, parades, circuses, and all that.
Yeah, you'll see Shriners in a lot of parades. They're driving those little funny-looking cars.
Yes.
That's always
Is that
fun.
part of your group?
No, actually, I do belong to the Shrine Motor Corps, and they have those little funny cars. Well, there's another one I'm not thinking of that does funny cars, but we also ride motorcycles and do the little figure eights and circles and stuff in the parade. And
do you do any of that in East County?
Yeah, we do.
Do you?
We try to every year we're in the Splendora Founders Day parade.
Okay.
And we have a presence in the Roman Forest 4th of July parade. And then there's lots of other parades I'm not even thinking of.
Okay. I mean, because that's people will probably remember that. Is it riding the motorcycles and with the little fez tops and all that? So that's why I bring it out.
Now, we did wear our fezzes while we were on our motorcycles, but it was very low speed and everybody knows what they're doing.
Yeah, you don't want to lose
so
your
it was
hat,
safe.
Right? Or have an accident, yes.
Right.
Okay, well, we're going to take another little break here, and then I want to come back and talk about what the York Rite is, the Scottish Rite, a little bit about your community engagement, your charitable things that you do with autism and the Teeth Club, and more of that as soon as we get back. And I am Margie Taylor with EMC News, and we look forward to hearing more about Masonry. Do you want to be a guest on EMC News? Go to our webpage and submit a request. irlonestar.com/EMCN. We would love to have you on the show to share news about East Montgomery County. Or call me, Margie, at 936-828-6881.
Check out EMC News on Facebook. Like us to see more about coming shows and guests.
Hello, this is Margie Taylor. I'm back on EMC News. I bet you thought I wasn't here, but I am. In downtown Conroe with 5 guests today talking about Freemasonry and their open house, which is this Sunday for anybody who wants to come and find out what's going on. And it's not a secret. That's why they're inviting you. So it starts at 2 o'clock in New Caney. And what is that address again of where it's located?
27625 Lodge Road.
27625 Lodge Road. That's actually like on the feeder, isn't it?
It's on the side street. Runs parallel with the railroad tracks. Runs parallel with 494.
Okay, perfect. So I have a couple of questions. First of all, Eastern Star, when do you all meet?
Our particular Eastern Star group, we meet the second and the fourth Tuesday of every month at B.Crawford Lodge. We are called New Caney Chapter number 1093. We were instituted in August 27th of 1968, and we were actually constituted November 10th of 1969.
Wow, so you've been around a little bit.
Yes, we have.
And you're doing a lot of wonderful things in our community.
Well, thank you. We try.
Very good. So you also mentioned something called the York Rite and the Scottish Rite, and I really have no idea what that means. What does that mean?
The York Rite and Scottish Rite are two appendant bodies of Masonry that once you've completed the 3 degrees of Masonry that are the main body, we call the Blue Lodge, then you can go on and get further education and learning in. The York Rite has one of the degrees that everybody's familiar with. I guess they both do, but it's mainly known for the Knights Templar degree. And they were established, not too long after 1717. Rite comes from York, England. And then the Scottish Rite, I believe, was established about 1747. And, I think it's from Scotland. The Scottish Rite, their charity that they have is a hospital. That's the Scottish Rite Hospital.
In Dallas.
I'm sorry?
It's in Dallas, isn't it?
Yeah, it's in Dallas. It's an orthopedic hospital. Something that they do, as well as the Shriners with their 22 hospitals, every one that they treat does not pay a penny for the treatment. All the 22 hospitals that the Shrine built also were built, paid for. The doctors, the nurses, the janitors were all paid for by the Shriners. So
that's a big deal.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
Great.
They have to raise millions of dollars every year. And the Shriners of all the Masons, because everybody that's in these appendant bodies has to be Masons, are the ones that are seen by most people because they're in all the parades and all that stuff, and they tend to be, some of the more outgoing people in Masonry, I guess you want to say.
Right. That's what people know you for. So it's a very nationally known orthopedic center and burn center. And to reiterate what you said, Jerry, this is free to anybody who uses it from birth to 18 years of age, correct? Do they have to be Texas, live in Texas?
No, the Shrine and the Scottish Rite are both national organizations. And so they're all over the United States.
It's worldwide, actually. At the
Worldwide, okay.
Intercontinental
And this is
Airport.
Stephen Carlisle speaking.
Yeah, at the Intercontinental Airport, we receive people from all over the world, kids.
Well, so tell me a little bit about your other things that you do. You have different charitable foundations
something that
help with other things, too.
Something that we're actually in the process of doing right now is a program that we do with the Masonic Home and School of Texas. And it's called the Fantastic Teeth Program. And what we do is, a lot of different lodges do it, but we, the B.Crawford Lodge, what we do is we provide dental kits that consist of a toothbrush, toothpaste, dental floss, a 2-minute timer, and then tips on healthy teeth, brushing game chart, and some glow-in-the-dark stickers to each first grader at 3 different schools here in the Montgomery County School District, which is the ones that we're doing are the Robert Crippen Elementary School, the Porter Elementary School, and the new Tavola, I don't know if I'm saying that right, elementary
Tavola.
school.
Right. So you get the kids excited about brushing their teeth.
Right. It's something that we do every year, and I think this is our 3rd or 4th year to do it.
That's nice.
That's also a program that's statewide also. The Fantastic Teeth program, the Grand Lodge of Texas through the Masonic Homeschool sponsors that statewide. Each lodge is entitled to receive so many. We at Sanby buy additional kits also to hand out to make sure we supply those schools. Of course, we can't supply it to everybody, but we do the best we can.
You're still making an impact. So you also have an autism program for parents?
That's the York Rite that does that.
Okay.
Talk about our scholarship program a little bit, David.
Well, at Sam B.Crawford, like I say, it's statewide, not just Texas. One of our main goals every year, we provide 6 scholarships per year in the East Montgomery County area, 4 to the New Caney School District and 2 to Splendora. Open to male or female. You don't have to. That's one of the things. Every year it's on the scholarship big a day, but every year counselors always say this is open to boys only. No, it's open to everyone. But
and does your family need to be a Mason?
No affiliation whatsoever. Same thing with the Eastern Star. Their scholarships is open to everyone. No Masonic affiliation required. We look at the need of the student. As a typical scholarship.
So this is for high school seniors.
It's just for high school seniors in our area, and like I say, and that is we also receive funding through the Texas Masonic Charities Foundation, which is falls under the umbrella of the Grand Lodge of Texas, that allows us to offer even more scholarships. Obviously, we'd like to give more, but here at Sam B, we give $6,000 scholarships a year. And hopefully one of these days we'll be able to expand it because there's more high schools coming online, and either we've got to
as
raise
we grow,
more.
and East County is growing, there's a lot happening.
Exactly.
You might be able to provide more scholarships as you get more funding,
exactly,
and as you get more membership and things like that.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
So.
We just like everybody else, we do the best we can with what we got.
Absolutely. Well, it sounds like you guys have a lot going on that people go by your building and don't really realize that you have a great impact in the community. Well, with all the different things that you offer.
Masonry, in my opinion, we've been our own worst enemy because most of us we don't like we do it. You do the right thing because it's the right thing to do.
Correct. You don't wear it on your face
and tell
everybody.
As a Mason, that's what we do. That's been part of our downfall because people don't know what we do. The Blue Lodge at Sam B.Crawford, it's what we refer to as a Blue Lodge, is the first 3 degrees of Masonry. We're the foundation. The Blue Lodge is the foundation of all Masonry in the state of Texas. That's where the membership comes from. Now you got your other appendant bodies, the York Rite, Scottish Rite, Shriners.
But you got to start at the basic level.
You got to start at the basics.
So tell me how you get involved in doing the basic. I mean, I heard Carrie talk. Well, that was the Eastern Star, but I mean, so do you have to have somebody in your family?
All you have to do is ask. That's the one.
Okay.
Okay,
it's that easy.
That's the one. All you have to do is ask. Nobody will ask you if you.
So you don't have to be a relation.
No relation.
Okay.
You got to be 21 years of age. No, 18. I'm sorry.
18.
It's 18. Okay. And that changed 10 years ago.
So outside of the open house, how would somebody? Could they just come to meetings?
Come to meetings.
Or do they have to be invited to come to a meeting?
No, you're not going to. You're invited to come to join us for dinner anytime you want. Now, you can't come to our meetings unless you're a Mason. The actual meeting.
When do you have dinner?
Our regular meetings, our stated meetings, are the first and third Tuesday of every month. We eat dinner at 6:30, and our meetings start at 7:30. But anyone is invited to join us. And people ask me, well, like I say, you got to ask someone, what's it take to be a Mason? And we'll tell you. Now, I'm not just going to, what we call sign off on you. I'm not going to top line you because I don't know you, because I want to get to know you before.
So it's relationship building.
It's relationship building, exactly. I liken it, the best way I can explain it is I'm not going to let somebody into my house unless I know you.
Sure.
And I consider my lodge
that
my
makes
second
sense.
home.
Absolutely.
And so you get to know them. I'm not talking about months or years, but at least get a feel.
Have a face-to-face at some point.
And then if they ask to join, people sign their petitions. They petition the lodge, and then take it from there. But you have to ask first. We're not going to ask you.
So,
We'll
and
let
the
you
way
know
they
about it, but we're
can
not
get
gonna ask you.
involved is they could go to your website, which is samcrawford.org.
Sam B. Crawford.
SamBCrawford.org, thank you. Or they could call this number, 281-330-7881.
Sure.
Is that correct? Who does that go
That's
to?
Jerry.
That's my phone.
Oh,
They
that's
can call
Jerry's
that
phone
number.
number. Okay, well, you know,
that's okay.
that's on the website. I'm
That's-
just throwing that out there,
Well, no,
by the
my
way.
phone number is fine. One thing
Call Jerry.
David's talking about, we're
We
not
only
gonna
have a
ask
minute
you-
left.
Okay.
Go ahead. Tell me. What were you going to say?
The Masons do not solicit members, and we're forbidden to. So when he says ask, that means ask. I didn't know anybody when I wanted to become a Mason. I found somebody online. They told me, find the nearest Masonic lodge, walk in, and the first person you come to, say, I want to be a Mason. And that's what I did.
Okay, so you have to go on their website, you have to call a number, you have to ask to be involved, but that is the only conditions. And other than that, it's first and third Tuesdays. You can show up for dinner at 6:30, but just be ready to learn. And their open house is this Sunday starting at 2 o'clock. So as a reminder, we will not be on the show next Monday. It will not be a live show. It will be a repeat of our show from October 3rd with Craig Doyle as the station goes through a transition to FM. Monday, October 31st, I will have Malicio Franco, who's the president of the East Montgomery County Rotary, Suzanne Soto, who's running for position 7 in Splendora ISD trustee election, and Jackie Knott running for position 6. And this half of the show was sponsored by Big Thicket Veterinary Clinic, and they will take care of your large animals or your small animals, and they make house calls. We hope you've enjoyed the show today. I'm Margie Taylor. I want to hear back from you. Visit me on Facebook at EMC News or by email at margie@taylorizedpr.com. Tune in next Monday and check us out. Be safe.
Thanks for checking out this production on Lone Star Community Radio, Montgomery County's radio station. For more information on this show and other shows on Lone Star, check us out online at irlonestar.com. If you're interested in sponsoring a program on Lone Star Community Radio and reaching the local audience of Montgomery County on FM, internet, and TV media, please call 936-647-5747 or contact us online at irlonestar.com. This recording is a Lone Star Community Radio production, produced by the show host and Dick Schisler of Lone Star Community Radio. Interested in volunteering as a music DJ or starting your own talk show? Contact Dick Schisler at dick@irlonestar.com or by phone at 936-647-5747.